guys, and welcome to the last module of this course. In this module, I will be showing you how to add a sleeve to your kimono jacket. In adding a sleeve to a kimono jacket, you must have constructed your jacket to a certain level. Like mine, I've finished the neckline area. As you can see, I finished the front opening properly and also the hemline. So the only thing I have left on this jacket is to attach my sleeve. But if I want to make this a sleeveless, it can also go that way. So which means I don't need to add any sleeve to my jacket. So all I will do is just to finish the armhole area. So in attaching a sleeve to your kimono jacket, this can be any sleeve of your choice. You can decide to add a suit sleeve or any type of sleeve. It can also be a basic sleeve as well, or any design of a sleeve. So like mine, I have a sleeve which I've constructed behind the camera. So this is a bell sleeve. So this is a type of sleeve I would love to attach to my kimono jacket. Okay, you can see I have this constructed already. So this is a bell sleeve. A bell sleeve is a combination of a basic sleeve and a circle sleeve. Now, in a case whereby you want a suit sleeve on your kimono jacket, I will be working on the pattern we drafted in one of our previous courses, which is the sleeve variations. So which I promised I will be showing you how to put this together when we are making a jacket. So I will have constructed this if I want a suit sleeve together with my kimono jacket, but because I don't want my kimono jacket to look official, so I want it to look informal, so that was why I decided to add a bell sleeve. So this type of sleeve is usually attached on a suit jacket, so which makes it looks really formal. So this is the upper sleeve with my seam allowances, and this is a vent area, you can see. So this is the under sleeve with my seam allowances with vent allowance as well. So this is the back, this is the front. On the upper sleeve, this is the back and this is the front. Okay guys, now I will be cutting this out, the upper and the under sleeve pattern, after which I will place this on a piece of fabric and cut it out. Then I will be showing you how to put the pieces together. Okay guys, now I have my fabric cut out with my pattern, as you can see. So now I will be joining the two pieces together. So this is the upper sleeve and this is the under sleeve. The upper sleeve is longer than the under sleeve. Okay, and I have my seam allowances added on the pattern already. So all I need to do is to place this the right side facing each other. So as you can see, the two pieces are not of the same size, so I will be stitching the straight side first before stitching the other side. So I will be stitching this with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. So after stitching, I will pull it like so in order to make the other side align properly. So then I will hold this together as well and I will stitch with 1/2 inch. So I will stitch from this point and I will stop on the vent point. So guys, I will be taking this to my sewing machine now and I will stitch on both sides. Okay guys, now I have the two sides joined together and this is what I have. Okay, so this is the sleeve head and this is the sleeve opening. Okay, so the only thing left is to cut out the lining, join the lining the same way, then finish the vent area and the sleeve opening with the lining. Then you can proceed in attaching this to your jacket. So that is if you want a suit sleeve on your kimono jacket. So as I said earlier, I will be attaching a bell sleeve on my kimono jacket, so which I've constructed already. When you are drafting your sleeve pattern, make sure you take the measurement you have on your jacket armhole. The measurement you have on your jacket armhole is what you will be using in drafting your sleeve pattern. So after cutting out my fabrics, the measurement I have on the sleeve head is more than what I have on the armhole. For this armhole I have 20 inches and on this I have 25 inches. So in this case, all you need to do is to gather your sleeve head. Okay, so from the 3 inches point, so from this point, this is the sleeve opening, the armpit area. I measure 3 inches upward. So from the 3 inches point on both sides, so I ran a gathered stitches. So you can see what I have here, the sleeve head is gathered. So, and this looks like a two-piece sleeve. So when I ran the gather stitches, the sleeve head shrank and this come back to the normal measurement I have on my armhole area. So by the time I put this, I will have the armhole and the sleeve head aligned properly. Okay, so the first thing I will be doing is to align the armpit area together. So this is the armpit area on my jacket, so which is also the side seam, and on the sleeve this is the armpit area. So I will match up this together like so. You can see what I'm having here is right side facing the right side. That was why I set this inside the armhole, so that is why it is called a setting sleeve. So I will set this inside like so. Then I'll open up the seam allowance I have on the sleeve. Then I will match it with the side seam points I have on the armhole, and I will pin the two together. Then on the shoulder line, I will match the shoulder line up with the sleeve head point. That is the center of the sleeve. So you must place a notch on your sleeve head points. Then I will pin the two together as well. So after pinning this, then I can proceed in pinning the remaining parts of the sleeve together. So when you are attaching your sleeve and the jacket together, make sure the front side of your sleeve falls on the front side of your jacket. So you have to place a notch in order to indicate the front. So like I have my notches here. So this is for the front, and here is the front side of my jacket. So the front sleeve is on the front armhole. So now when you are pinning the remaining parts together, if you have excess or you have a shortage, so that is why you don't need to cut out your thread. So the thread you use in gathering the sleeve head, so you must have it like so. So you might need to adjust this. Maybe you will need to spread, or you will still need to pull in order to gather the sleeve head more. So it all depends on the result you have after pinning the two together. Okay guys, now I have my sleeve and the bodice pinned together. So now I will be stitching with 1/2 inch of seam allowance all around. Okay guys, now I have the bodice and the sleeve stitched together, as you can see. So I will turn this to the right side. On the right side I have this. Okay guys, after attaching the sleeve to the bodice, the next step is to work on the seam allowance I have on the armhole in order to push up the shoulder line. After attaching the sleeve, I have my shoulder line like so. So you can see the seam point is pressing inward. So in order to push this outward, I will need to work on the seam allowance. So in doing this, I will be making use of a wadding. So this is a lightweight wadding. So I will fold the armhole into half like so. Then I will place it on the wadding. Then I will trace out the shape I have on the armhole. Okay, then I have this. So now I will be using the shape I have on my wadding to measure out 1.5 inches. Then I will mark it all around. Okay, so you can see what I have. So now I will cut this out, but I have a piece which I've cut out already, so I will be making use of this. So if I cut this out, I will have it exactly this way. So after cutting out the wadding, then I will place my wadding on the seam allowance. So that is the same allowance I have on the armhole. So firstly, I will fold the wadding into half and I will notch the center. So which is here. So after notching the center of my wadding, then I will place the notch point on the shoulder line. So here is the shoulder line. So I will place it like so. If you are making use of a fusible wadding, the shiny part of your wadding, that is the part that has gum, will be facing up. So while the part that has no gum will face the fabrics. So I'm pinning the wadding together with the seam allowance I have on the armhole. Okay, so after pinning, the next step is to stitch. So I will be stitching the wadding together with the seam allowance. So I will be stitching beside the seam I have on the armhole already. So which means I'm not stitching exactly on the seam point I have here. So it's going to be like 1/8 or 1/4 inch away from this point. So I will stitch from where the wadding starts and I will stitch all around up to the other side of the wadding. So after stitching, then I will flip my wadding up like so. Then I will wrap it on the seam allowance. Then I will fold in the edges. So after folding in the edges, then I will make the wadding to relax on the seam allowance. So every folding I will be doing must be before the seam I have on the armhole, because the stitches I will be running here must not be showing on the right side of the jacket. So everything has to be on the seam allowance. So after folding in the edges like so, then I will be running an edge stitches on the other side of the wadding. So I will continue folding in the edges and I will be stitching. And don't forget, your seam must not get up to the seam you have on the armhole already. So after stitching, I will have the armhole like so. So this is the one I've done. So as you can see, I do not have the seam showing on the right side of my jacket. So everything has to be on the wrong side. So if you don't get to the seam point you have on your armhole, definitely your seam will not be showing on the right side. So this will help the shoulder line to come up nicely. So the jacket will look nice on the wearer. On the armhole line, this part will not be pressing inward. It will not press inward. Instead of having it pressed in like so, you will have it coming outward, and this part will look as if you had a shoulder pad to your jacket. There is a kind of effect this will add to the shoulder line. So what I have here is different from what I have here. The whole of the shoulder line is not coming outward. So but with the help of this, it will come out well. So I will take this to my sewing machine now. I will run a stitch beside the stitch I had here, but not on the stitch. So I will start from this edge to the other edge. After stitching, then I will wrap my wadding on the seam allowance. Then I will close the edges like so, but I will make sure I do not get to the seam I have on my armhole area. Okay guys, here is the final look of our beautiful kimono jacket. This is what I have on the hemline. The hemline is a little bit open than the other parts here. And for the inside of my jacket, this is what I have. So I have this looking neat and beautiful like so, purposely because I made the lining shorter than the main fabrics, and I have my hemline this way. Okay, then on the other part of my jacket, this is the shape I have, purposely because I drafted the shape like so. So you can design any shape of your choice for the opening of your jacket. And I have a round neckline. If you don't want to make use of a round neckline, you can apply a V neckline, and the connection will come from the highest point shoulder to the bust point, and you will have it looking so beautiful. And for my sleeve, I made use of a bell sleeve. You can see what I have for the bell sleeve. I fused the circle part of my sleeve, so that is why it is standing like so, and on the inside I lined it. Okay, so this type of jacket can be rocked with a camisole because of the opening we have here. So you will have to put on a camisole and a leggings. You can as well make use of a jumpsuit that is sleeveless or a short dress. So that is how to rock this type of jacket. And on the waistline, you will have to add a waist belt. I made use of this piece of fabric for the sake of this tutorial in place of a waist belt. So you need to rock this with a beautiful waist belt. And on the shoulder line, this is the effect of the wording I added. It helps the shoulder line to come out nicely. So guys, that will be all on this tutorial of how to make a kimono jacket. Thank you for staying with me throughout the course of this tutorial. Feel free to drop all your questions, as I will be here to answer them all. Thank you once again, and I will see you in my next course.